What is popping, y'all? It's your boy D-Mark, aka D-Mark. So back with another video. So I'm going to be checking out a clip from Chris Van Vliet. He's going to be interviewing Killer Kross and his girl Scarlett. Most likely going to be talking about their WWE releases. And before we get into any of that, if you haven't already yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You haven't already. Follow me on social media, turn on notifications, because I will be posting every single week. So any further ado, let's get straight into this.
Night 2 of SummerSlam, so that would have been exactly 1 week before your contract was up. How were you feeling on that day?
I'd say we knew.
Really?
We knew for months, I feel like, what was happening, what was going to happen. I hope it's okay for me to say this, but I'm kind of his Game of Thrones red woman. I have been for a long time when it comes to astrology and looking things up, and a lot of the stuff I do on the paranormal show is a bit real with like tarot cards, so I did see that we were going to have some sort of contract dispute, that it was going to take a while, and I did feel in my gut like we were going to step away since like February. Yeah.
Since February?
Yeah.
We've told very few people about that, but yeah.
We knew.
Were you trying to make things work as early as February?
Always trying to make things work. Always trying to make the best of anything and everything, right? So.
You approached Hunter back in January, actually, letting him know that you wanted to stay.
Yeah, and you. I said we both would like to stay, yeah.
Was your contract tied together? Like, you have the same end date, right? So both your contracts came to an end on August 10th. That's because you guys came in together. Were your contracts together? Were they one contract, or did you have contracts for each of you guys?
It was separate contracts.
Separate, yeah. Just signed at the same time.
Okay, and then the idea here is like, I've heard you talk so much about your contract negotiations. Scarlett, where were yours?
So after you talked to the representative of talent relations about your contract, one of the last questions before the 24-hour notice was given, Kevin asked if where I stood in all these contract negotiations, and they said, we'll get to her once we're done with you, which I took as them using me as leverage against him. I do feel like if he agreed within the 24 hours that they would have offered me something, would it have been the same amount as it was before? Would it have been less? I don't know. But all in all, it felt like a massive, massive red flag, and I did feel like it did come off a bit misogynistic, because originally I was hired before you.
Oh yeah,
and
2019.
Yeah, and the idea that I have no value without him, and it's...
So the thing is, right, because if she signed a contract with WWE at the time, back in 2019, so I don't know if those two are married, but I don't know. Matter of fact, 1 second, because I have to be sure that Killer Kross and Scarlett are married. If they're not married, then they're just dating. I'm actually going to look this up to see if they're married. Because the both of them has been coming out together during Karrion Kross's injury. So, yeah, I need to make sure if they marry or not. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. Come on, bro. Killer Kross. I want to see if they married. Okay, no, they're not married. They're not married. They're actually just dating. So, yeah, I was just making sure if they were just married, but they're not. And that's all I wanted to know.
Only, determined by whether or not he signs, like that came off as very misogynistic to me.
Yeah, and also, I told you this a long time ago, but I didn't really ever publicly talk about this. Like, when I signed to go from NXT to Raw, somebody said the exact same thing to me over the phone. And I asked her, I said, what do you think? At that time, we had no reason to ever think it would be strange or go sideways. So I signed it, being told, we'll get to her after we get to you. I go up to Raw, then we go into Mad Max in the Thunderdome, and she's at home. So I was like, well, I'm not going to do that again. We already saw exactly what happened with that.
I was cleared to manage, but not wrestle. So at any point, I could have come up and done exactly what we did on NXT. But they said they wanted to separate us and wanted me to wrestle once I was clear after the breast augmentation during that dark match. But then I was cleared, and it was a few days later that they actually fired both of us.
Yeah. She was at
So she was supposed to be wrestling instead of just like being a manager. Because I see more of Scarlett as a manager than it is as an actual wrestler. But the thing is about her is I never really actually seen her wrestler. I mean, see her wrestle. So after I probably may finish recording this, I probably may check out some wrestling videos of her if she did wrestle. Because for like ever since she's like during like the NXT days, since Karrion Kross was like in NXT, she literally was a manager to him. So I don't know about that. But I know is that she wasn't wrestling because I don't think I have seen her wrestle at one time. I'm always seeing her with Killer Kross, known as Karrion Kross. So I could be wrong there, but if she was wrestling at the time and she wasn't like clear or anything like that, wasn't like clear to compete to wrestle, then I probably could be wrong on that. I don't know.
She was at TakeOver when I wrestled Joe to drop the belt.
Yes, I
She was
was.
ready to manage, and they
Yes,
told
I
her,
was.
don't go out. We're just like, what's going on here? I was like, can we address this publicly? And they were like, no, don't talk about it. I was like, this is bizarre.
Is it fair to think you guys were seen as a package deal because you were presented together as such on television, and obviously in your personal lives, you can't be any closer than being married?
Mhm.
Is that maybe why the contracts were being handled together like that?
I mean, I don't know. Why they do what they do, I don't ever want to kind of frame anything against them as it's like my opinion, so to speak. But, when Hunter contacted us to come back, we just did both of our deals together over the phone. So we were, why wouldn't we be under the impression that we would be proceeding that way? Would you say that's fair to say at least?
I mean, I feel like everyone knew that the package worked so well. People liked it in NXT. That's why we thought we were going to be doing it on main roster before we got let go the first time. I think it's okay to say no because Vince is no longer, in the position he's in.
Vince
But
no longer here.
I felt as though Vince likes to put his own spin on whatever creative things are brought to NXT. So maybe that's why he wanted to separate us, to create something new. But Hunter was the one who put us together in NXT, which is why he knew it worked. He knew it was good. He knew people liked it. And that's why we thought with it working for this long, why wouldn't they re-sign us together, especially while still using me on SummerSlam in Night of Champions? I feel like we've always done good work together.
And there's undeniable chemistry, like obviously.
Really? Is there?
It seems like you guys like each other. Seems like it. Have you talked to WWE at all since August 10th?
But we talked to, she talks to the girls still. I talk to the guys in the locker room.
But not the office.
So that's it, the contract came to an end? And that was that?
Yep.
Wow.
Well, after they spoke to you, they did call me the next day. And it was very strange because they were like, oh, I'm sure you know what's going on with Kevin. And I'm like, all right, you're talking about what happened with him. Sure, but what's going on with my contract? You're only talking about him. And they said, we're going to let your contract lapse. I'm like, okay, that's totally fine. I'm sure everything's going to work out. We love working there. So, the line's open if you guys ever want to call us. And then he goes, yeah, the line's open both ways. I know you guys had a great relationship with Nick Khan and Hunter. You should definitely call them. And I was like, wait, what does that mean?
Well, then why were we talking to him in the first place anyways?
What does that mean?
And he was saying every single thing that he was saying was coming straight from them, so it left us very confused.
Very confused.
Yes.
Like at one point, man, I was like, I wanted him to be able to explain to me whether, like, for instance, the book sales. It's like my life story. Is that, where is that in all of this? Forbes wrote an article. We were top seller in the company for the merchandise. He didn't want to look at any of that, didn't want to discuss any of that.
You're getting a big cut of your book, too.
Of course.
Yeah,
He's telling me that's irrelevant to the conversation in determining my value. That's crazy. Like, my life story is about a kid in the audience of their shows, growing up, wanting to be a part of the show, getting into the show, and writing a book about how I was part of the show, and now he's telling me that's irrelevant? Dude. So, like, what is the statement here? Nothing I've done over the last 3 years is relevant to the conversation? The book that they're making money off of? My life story is irrelevant to the conversation? Like, and you're asking me to agree to a figure with a statement like that attached to it? Anybody with any sort of, like, dignity or self-respect is not going to say, you know what, that sounds like a really good deal to me. Like, there were just red flags all over the entire conversation. And I asked him, like, are our bosses aware of what you're saying? He's like, oh, yeah, they're aware of it.
Which I believe, actually. I do.
And then that's crazy, too. And plus, he also has a book out that I did saw a little bit, which I got to watch this channel because I think Karrion Kross also has a YouTube channel as well. But, I mean, plus he got a book coming out that I think that he made this year. I probably have to go watch his videos. But him not letting them see his book, him making his own journey, you know, as a kid in a crowd, and now becoming a wrestler, and he gets to experience of what the wrestling industry is, and then all of a sudden that they are not like referencing or putting a book out for the whole world, like the whole wrestling world to see what, you know, like Karrion Kross go like Karrion Kross, like what he did during his time in NXT, time in the Indies, times in WWE on the main roster, and they just like vanish that that don't seem right. Becky had a book out, and WWE just showed it like during like the break of like commercial breaks of the show. But him not releasing his book, why can't Karrion Kross can't do the same thing? Same thing what Becky did. She like announced her book during during the show. I just feel like that's just messed up. Messed up for anybody that's trying to like show them like what I done, but yet you can't even you can't publish it. You couldn't publish my book for everybody to see that wanted to buy it. That's stupid. That's so dumb right there.
I have no reason not to believe
Yeah.
it. He can't be lying to me on the phone. So when he says you have a great relationship with him, you should call them. Well, what more is there to talk about when you tell somebody that all of this stuff to track in terms of performance and your value to the company is irrelevant? What the hell are we talking about?
It's this feeling that no matter how much hard work you put in, whether or not your promos are good, whether or not your matches are good, whether or not you sell merchandise, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're only this number that they choose for you, and it doesn't matter how it's determined, but there's nothing you can do to improve your situation. It's like getting hired at an office building company where, you know, you're hoping one day that you're going to get that raise and, you know, be in a better position, but they say, no, this is what it's going to be forever. It doesn't matter how hard you work.
Yeah. I definitely, that is very true. And, you know, in some cases for a wrestler, if you trying to achieve a career that you've been thinking that you've been wanting to do ever since you were a kid, but yet you thought about other things in life that you also want to achieve in life, whether it be a doctor, whether it be a firefighter, a police officer, like anything that people wanted to do in life, want to achieve their careers or something that they wanted to prove. If something that they can't approve in wrestling, you know, you did it once, I mean, you did it twice or the third time, maybe wrestling is not the best thing for the best thing for you to do. There's other opportunities out there in the world that you can most likely achieve, other than if anything doesn't happen, doesn't work well for you. There is like a side where working at a 9-to-5 job is like the worst thing this year. I mean, it's not like, I guess it's the best, but at the same time, it's like the worst thing because it's like you're working all day long from 9 to 5 and you're being up your feet all day, gotta deal with rude and the most obnoxious ass customers all day. And that's something that I don't even want to experience. Even though I have like experienced a bit of that, when I was like working at my third job, I had to deal with rude ass people. It's like they be asking for shit, bro. It was like when I was working at Texas Roadhouse, I was a dishwasher. Well, not a dishwasher, but a busboy. Anytime I would pick up their table, to come to the table to come and get their plates, they'd be asking me like dumb stuff. They would ask me, "Can I get your manager?" Or this food is uncooked. We've been waiting for like 40 to about 45 minutes or so to get to our table. I will say, working at restaurants is definitely not the best thing. I advise y'all not to work at restaurants. If that is your option and y'all want to, go for it. I'm not stopping either one of you to tell you what things in life that you want to do in life. If that's something, a career like me, is something that you want to achieve in life, and that's mostly you want to accomplish until you can't do it no more, go for it. Go for the opportunity. Go for your achievement. Go for your goal that you want to pursue. And I'm not taking that away from anybody that wants to find a career in themselves and they wanted to have people like here, like Scarlett said, like, even though it's not like the best thing, even though finding like the best options in life. I mean, I still like achieve things in life that still achieve. I spent 4 years in college. I got me a house. I got me a car and everything. And that's something that I've been praising on ever since, ever since I was 9. I've been wanting to get my own place and everything. And look at me now. This place is not perfect, but I got to make it worth it. So that's all I have to say. But anything y'all guys want to achieve in life, go for it, man. Nothing taken away from that.
It's kind of that feeling.
I was blown away. It was not the conversation we thought we were going to be having.
Oh, so that's it. That's it for that interview. But yeah, I do want to say something about Karrion Kross. I said this before. And it's not just because I don't hate Karrion Kross. I think Killer Kross, Karrion Kross, whoever it is you want to call him, I think he's like the best dominant wrestler I have seen since like his days in NXT. But the issue was, I think when he get called up, and it's like they already, WWE, Vince McMahon, already dropped the ball on Karrion Kross. And after that same year in 2021, he got released, and then when Triple H came back and take over creative, and that's when Karrion Kross ended up coming back. And I thought that was really good. I really wish that WWE would just give Karrion Kross like a proper push. And I'm not just saying like world title pushes and anything like that. It's like find me something to get me invested in him. But as he's doing like all these other stuff that he was doing on television, and just like it makes me not want to care. But I would care if WWE would have just like put a lot of effort on Karrion Kross instead of him just losing to Sami Zayn twice in a row. Which I get, right now they are pushing Sami right now as like the main person that's going to be winning the Royal Rumble, and that's what's most likely is going to happen. But Karrion Kross has everything. He has everything to do when he gets into the ring. I mean, he got the charisma and just everything. He got the look. I mean, when his music plays, he comes out with his badass entrance. I mean, I love the entrance every time he comes out with Scarlett. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong on that. I do love the entrance. But when the bell rings and everything comes to a blow, that's how good Karrion Kross is as a wrestler. And I just wish, WWE will just have more faith in him and more success out of him. And anytime something just don't happen the way how you want it, then it's like you gotta have to find something else that you want to do. If it's not wrestling, then it has to be something else that you want people to still remember you. And I've watched like parts of the interview about if Karrion Kross if he still can go to AEW, which I don't think is the best, but the problem is if he goes to AEW, he's going to be booked as like the same way as the other times that from the people that was in WWE and now in AEW. So, I mean, he can give it a shot. He can definitely give it a shot, but I don't trust AEW what they really do with him if he does choose to go to AEW. If it's not AEW, then he can go any other promotion outside of wrestling like WWE and AEW if AEW is the only place that, if he ended up choosing to go. But, yeah, man, there's a lot of options that he can still do. I mean, he's still wrestling the indies, I know that. But he hasn't really been signed with, like, a major, like, wrestling promotion. Other than, like, I mean, he was in WWE, but not in AEW. Makes up my words a lot, damn. But if he goes to AEW, I mean, I don't see anything remotely or anything viable will change. Other than if they have him doing something like different that never been done before, then I can most likely have more than a lot of success in Killer Kross. Well, Karrion Kross, but not Killer Kross, but not Karrion Kross. I gotta call him Killer Kross now. But yeah, Yeah, this was definitely something that I want to see in Karrion Kross. So if he does go to AEW, I have nothing more but a lot of respect for the dude. I mean, he's been doing everything he could to make a name of himself, and he did. And the fans know him. Fans know Karrion Kross, and he's gonna be carrying that fan base everywhere he goes in wrestling. Whether he goes to Indies, whether he goes to AEW, or anywhere else, people still gonna know who Karrion Kross is because people watch his matches and the sadness of him. So hopefully, if he goes to AEW, hopefully they make it right for him. But yeah, man, that's all I gotta say there. Y'all let me know what your thoughts about this and follow me on social medias down below. I'll be back with another video. Peace.
It's my moment to shine. This is my time of flight. I've been grinding forever just for this very night. I've been pushing for many moments like this. This time it's undervalued and no one ever could.